Welcome to Strange Dispatch. More than 100 of these objects have been found across what was once the Roman Empire. They were expensive to make. They were carefully designed. And they are unlike almost anything else the Romans left behind. 12 bronze faces, 12 differently sized holes, 20 rounded knobs, no instructions, no labels, no surviving picture showing one in use, and no Roman writer ever bothered to explain what it was. For almost 300 years, archaeologists, historians, engineers, craftspeople, and amateur investigators have tried to solve the same deceptively simple mystery. What were Roman dodecahedrons for? Some believe they were precision instruments. Others say they were used to make gloves. They may have held candles, measured distances, tested craftsmen, predicted the future, or represented the structure of the universe itself. Every theory seems convincing for a moment. Then another detail pulls it apart. And the latest major discovery may have made the mystery even stranger. In June of 2023, volunteers were excavating a Roman site near a village in Lincolnshire, England. The archaeological season was almost over. A final trench had been opened over what appeared to be an ancient quarry pit, later filled with discarded material. The excavators had already uncovered familiar traces of Roman life: pottery, building material, animal bone. Then, near the top of the pit, one volunteer found something completely different. A hollow copper alloy object with 12 pentagonal faces. It was complete, undamaged, and remarkably well preserved after approximately 17 centuries underground. It was a Roman dodecahedron. The Lincolnshire object stands about 8 centimeters tall and weighs roughly 245 grams. It is one of the largest examples found in Britain. It was also the 33rd known example from Roman Britain and the first discovered in the Midlands. But its real importance comes from where it was found. Many dodecahedrons were discovered centuries ago. Some were dug up by farmers. Others entered private collections with little or no record of their surroundings. Their original archaeological context was lost before anyone understood how important it might be. The recently discovered dodecahedron was different. It was found during a controlled modern excavation, surrounded by Roman material that could help establish when and how it entered the ground. And yet even that discovery did not answer the central question. It only gave archaeologists a more complete object to puzzle over. A Roman dodecahedron is exactly what its name suggests: a three-dimensional shape made from 12 flat pentagonal faces. Each face contains a circular opening. The openings differ in size. Many are surrounded by decorative concentric rings. At every corner is a small rounded knob, creating 20 projecting points across the object. Most are hollow and cast from copper alloy. They range from around the size of a golf ball to something closer to a tennis ball. No two are exactly alike. Their dimensions vary. The sizes of their holes vary. Their weight varies. Even their decoration varies. But the overall design remains recognizable. Someone across the northern Roman provinces understood this shape. Someone knew how to manufacture it. And enough people valued it that examples have been found across a wide region. They have appeared in Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Austria, and Hungary. But there is something odd about that distribution. They are concentrated in the northwestern provinces of the Roman world. Many come from areas once associated with Gaul and with populations influenced by both Roman and Celtic traditions. None are known from Italy, the center of Roman political power. None have been found across the Mediterranean heartland, where so many familiar Roman objects appear. That suggests the dodecahedron may not have been universally Roman. It may have belonged to a particular regional culture living inside the empire. A culture that adopted Roman metalworking, but used the object for a purpose that was never written down, or at least never written down in anything that survived. The first recorded dodecahedron was presented to the Society of Antiquaries of London in 1739. Since then, investigators have proposed dozens of explanations. Some are practical, some are ingenious, some sound almost absurd. But the mystery has lasted because nearly every theory explains one feature, while failing to explain another. Consider the holes. They are different sizes, and openings on opposite faces can create a narrow line of sight through the object. That has inspired one of the most persistent theories. The dodecahedron was a measuring instrument. Perhaps a soldier or surveyor could look through two holes and calculate the distance to an object. Maybe it worked as a primitive rangefinder. Hold it at a known distance from the eye, align the openings with a standard target, and use geometry to estimate how far away that target was. Modern experiments have shown that a replica can be used this way. The concept is mathematically possible. And the Romans were skilled engineers who understood surveying, geometry, and military measurement. At first, it sounds convincing, but a measuring instrument needs consistency. Its user needs to know what the measurements mean. Roman dodecahedrons are not a standard size. Their openings do not follow one universal arrangement. They have no numbers, no calibration marks, no written scales. If each object was individually calibrated, the information needed to use it has vanished completely. And the Romans already possessed effective surveying instruments designed specifically for that work. So, although the dodecahedron can measure distance, that does not prove measuring distance was its original purpose. Almost any object with paired openings can be adapted into a sighting device. The question is not whether it could work. The question is whether that is why it was made. Another theory focuses not on looking through the holes, but working around them. In recent years, experimental demonstrations have shown that a replica dodecahedron can be used to create knitted tubes. By looping yarn around the knobs and feeding the work through an opening, someone can produce narrow pieces shaped like the fingers of a glove. This theory became enormously popular online. The object's different hole sizes could create fingers of different widths. The knobs could hold loops of yarn. And warm gloves would certainly have been useful along Rome's cold northern frontier. It is elegant, visual, and easy to demonstrate. But there are serious problems. Clear evidence for the knitting method used in these demonstrations appears much later than the Roman period. Bronze would also be an unusually costly material for a tool that could have been made more easily from wood. And some related ancient polyhedral objects lack the openings necessary for this kind of work. Most importantly, the surviving dodecahedrons show little of the repeated wear we might expect from thread being pulled tightly across their knobs and edges. The glove theory proves that modern people can knit with one. It does not prove that ancient people did. Then there is the candle holder theory. Place a candle inside the hollow object, and the light could shine through all 12 openings. The bronze shape would cast unusual circles and shadows across a dark room. At least one specimen has reportedly been associated with traces of wax, which gives the theory some support. Perhaps the dodecahedron was a lamp. Perhaps it was used during a ceremony. Perhaps the different openings created a deliberate pattern of light. But once again, the explanation is incomplete. Why make candle holders in so many different sizes? Why place knobs on every corner? Why use such a complicated geometric design when Roman craftspeople produced simpler lamps and candle stands? And if ordinary lighting was the purpose, why do the objects appear to have been so rare and geographically restricted? The candle holder theory may explain wax. It does not explain the entire tradition. Another possibility is that the objects were not designed for a practical task at all. Maybe they were made to demonstrate skill. Casting a thin, hollow, 12-sided object with circular openings and projecting knobs would have required considerable planning and craftsmanship. A dodecahedron could have been a masterwork, an object made by a metalworker to prove that he had reached a particular level of ability. It may have served as an ancient portfolio piece, something displayed to customers, presented to a guild, or kept as evidence that an apprentice had become a master. This explains why the objects are complicated. It explains why they were costly, and it explains why no two are identical. But it creates another problem. Why did craftsmen across a wide region choose this same peculiar shape as their demonstration piece? Why are they concentrated in the northwestern provinces? And why have some been discovered in graves, hoards, military settings, and places where they appear to have been carefully deposited? A demonstration piece should show skill, but these objects seem to have carried meaning. That brings us to the most intriguing possibility. The Roman dodecahedron may not have been a tool. It may have been a symbol. In ancient Greek philosophy, geometric solids could represent the basic structure of existence. The tetrahedron was associated with fire, the cube with earth, the octahedron with air, the icosahedron with water, and the dodecahedron with its 12 faces was connected to the heavens, the cosmos, or the universe as a whole. These ideas were associated with ancient philosophical traditions and continued to circulate during the Roman era. A recent scholarly study has argued that the philosophical meaning of the dodecahedron may offer clues to the Gallo-Roman objects. Roman writers also described learned traditions in Gaul as having interests that could overlap with philosophy, astronomy, religion, and divination. Could the bronze objects have transformed a philosophical shape into a ritual instrument? Perhaps they represented the cosmos. Perhaps the 12 faces related to celestial cycles, months, constellations, or the signs of the zodiac. Perhaps an object could be turned toward the light, fitted to a staff, used in divination, or displayed by someone with religious authority. One dodecahedron found in a grave was reportedly positioned beside a rod-shaped bone object, raising the possibility that it once formed part of a ceremonial staff or scepter. And the Lincolnshire excavation team considers a ritual or religious interpretation to be one of the more plausible explanations for their discovery. The object required skill, metal, and time. It shows little evidence of ordinary wear. It was deliberately placed in the ground, and the region already contains evidence of local religious activity during the Roman period. But ritual object can also become an archaeological escape hatch. When researchers cannot identify a practical function, ritual is often the answer left standing. The 12 faces contain no surviving names of gods, no zodiac symbols, no numbers, no instructions for divination. There is no ancient illustration showing a priest holding one, and there is still no Roman text that describes anything unmistakably similar. The symbolic theory may fit the evidence better than the practical explanations, but it remains a theory, and perhaps that is the most important clue of all. We keep searching for one universal purpose, one answer that explains every dodecahedron. But the objects differ in size, weight, decoration, and archaeological setting. Some were found near military sites, some in graves, some with coins, some in discarded material. Maybe they did not all serve exactly the same purpose. A shape can begin as a sacred symbol and later become decoration. A ceremonial object can also hold a candle. An emblem of learning can become a demonstration of craftsmanship. An object can be practical and symbolic at the same time. The Romans did not live in a world where religion, science, superstition, and daily life were neatly separated. To them, measuring the heavens might also have been an act of devotion. Casting a perfect geometric form might have demonstrated both technical skill and hidden knowledge. Holding an object representing the cosmos could have been part philosophy, part status, and part ritual. The dodecahedron may remain mysterious because we are trying to place it into a single modern category that did not exist for the people who made it. Tool, toy, lamp, instrument, relic, symbol. Maybe it was more than one of those things. Or maybe the true answer is something no one has proposed. Around 130 examples have survived. Each one carries the same strange architecture. 12 faces, 20 knobs, openings leading through an empty center. The people who made them clearly understood what they were. The people who owned them must have recognized their purpose immediately. But that knowledge disappeared. No explanation survived. No illustration survived. Only the objects remained. Small bronze puzzles scattered across the northern edge of a vanished empire. So what do you think? Were Roman dodecahedrons precision instruments, tools for making clothing, elaborate candle holders, tests of a master craftsman, or symbols of the cosmos used in ceremonies we no longer understand? Drop your theory in the comments. And if this strange artifact made you question what the ancient world was capable of, watch our investigation into 5 ancient objects that should not exist next. Like this video, subscribe to Strange Dispatch, and ring the bell for more strange history, eerie legends, and impossible cases. Until next time, remember, sometimes the past leaves us an object, but takes its meaning to the grave.
There's a light beyond the tree line. There's a signal in the storm. There are footsteps in the silence where no footsteps should have formed. There's a name beneath the water. There's a shadow on the wall. And the stories we've forgotten are still waiting for our call. Every answer leaves a doorway. Every truth reveals a scar. And the closer that we follow, the more distant answers are. Beyond the known, beyond the light, where the questions come alive at night. Through ancient ruins, skies unknown, we follow the trail. Beyond the known, strange dispatch, the signal calls. From haunted roads and vanished halls. No mystery sleeps, no secrets gone. We keep searching beyond the known. There are maps that lead to messages in stone. There are aircraft lost forever, leaving empty skies alone. There are voices in the forest. There are faces in the flame. There are things that history buried but can never quite explain. Every legend holds a fragment. Every witness leaves a clue. And sometimes what sounds impossible may still contain the truth. Beyond the known, beyond the light, where the questions come alive at night. Through ancient ruins, skies unknown, we follow the trail. Beyond the known, strange dispatch, the signal calls. From haunted roads and vanished halls, no mystery sleeps, no secrets gone. We keep searching beyond the known. Maybe every distant signal is just static in the air. Maybe every shape behind us was never really there. But when the facts refuse to settle and the shadows still remain, we will listen to the silence and investigate again. Beyond the known, beyond the light, where the questions come alive at night. Through ancient ruins, skies unknown, we follow the trail. Beyond the known, strange dispatch, the signal calls. From vanished ships and ancient walls, no mystery sleeps, no secrets gone. We keep searching beyond the known, past the edge of explanation, past the place where certainty ends. Strange dispatch keeps moving on.